instead of kind of two standalone builds. Like, let's see these twin 2v2 styles going on. That would be really cool. But here we go.
Yep, speaking of adapting, here we go, guys. Game number 1 between it's Team WA and Dutch Defenders, I believe. So let me just take a quick look at the bracket.
Dutch Defender and Dawgo are together, and Insane Jester and Gorgo are together. So we've got the red and blue versus the green and yellow. Same as last time, so that should be easy on us casters to remember.
Yep. And right now, both sides just scouting each other out. We do have the moles in the former Dutch Defender. He's actually trying to launch an attack on one of his opponents. Which one's going to be? We're going to find out. There's a lot of road for those moles to move around. Road giving that extra move speed bonus, but it looks like the warrants are going to be immediately placed down. How much damage can Dutch Defender actually do? Gonna get his first mole, trying to wear down the first farm. He does get that first farm. GorgoPrimus down to 3. He's going to try to run away with his moles alive as quickly as possible. He has one mole on low health right now. Gorgo trying to bring his units down to the south. That mole, it looks like it might actually get away, trying to trudge through the water, and it's gone.
Yeah, beautiful play out of Dutch. I love stuff like that. Go in, get some damage done, bring the moles back and sell them. Don't overcommit. Don't do anything crazy like that. So great early rush coming out of our green and yellow team here.
But we are going to see maybe a punishment, but Dawgo coming in from the sidelines, blindsiding the squirrels with his lizards, and there's nothing you can do about it. Insane Jester trying to go in for the defense as well, but unfortunately saw his friend die on the field and backs off.
Yeah, that's that kind of teamwork you like to see, right, Tia? That's almost exactly what you're talking about. But Dawgo coming in and getting a lot more damage done on poor Gorgo's farm line.
He got a little greedy there, trying to snipe as multiple farms. I think he was able to snipe one, but that was pretty much it, and he lost his entire army for that.
That was definitely a crazy trade there, but as long as Dawgo and Dutch get a minute to re-macro up, I think they'll be safe. But yeah, that was a really cool opening. Dutch went for the moles, Dawgo went for the quick lizards for the follow-up, so I'm really liking their style so far.
The really scary part is that Gorgo is so far behind now after that initial rush. And now they just have to be very careful. 2 lizard players just making their way through right now versus 1 lizard. Gorgo just doesn't have the army. He actually sold off his squirrels in order to transition straight into toads, but it might be a little bit too slow right now. Dawgo and Dutch Defender already doing a lot of damage, this time to Insane Jester's own farms. And
yeah, great tempo pushing there, right? I mean, keep the advantage up. Don't let your opponents recover it and macro back up. So really great sense out of Dutch and Dawgo.
And there's just nothing that Gorgo can do. He decided to transition into toads, but that takes a little bit of time, especially when you were only on like 4 farms or 3 farms for that entire time. So that's going to come out very slowly immediately, and St. Chester just goes straight defense, trying to put up as much barbed wire as possible.
Yeah, poor Gorgo in this situation. Insane Jester's kind of like, you're on your own, man. I'm going to get some barbed wire going. I'm going to be safe here. But it looks like he's going to try to do some kind of chinky flank attack here on Dawgo.
I don't know if he has enough units to pull this one off. And Dawgo, he has his units in the area. Oh, he is thinking about he's just sitting in this entire area. I think he realizes where Insane Jester's position is. Meanwhile, we are going to see Gorgo try to push his toads to the north side, try to pressure Dutch Defender. Maybe provide a bit of a distraction. But here comes the first mill trying to be taken by Dawgo, using it as bait here. As Insane Jester trying to rush his way in and loses all of his lizards as a result.
Yeah, great use of the gristmill to tank there, guys. Icebox kind of brought that up to me the other day. When a battle's going on, you can take a gristmill kind of right there and use it to soak up some damage. So that was a beautiful play out of Dawgo, really keeping all of his lizards alive and just getting a super favorable trade for his team.
It's a very decent use of 60 food just to distract as much as he can. Gorgo just going for a kamikaze run right now. Has his toes, trying to explode as many units as he can, but it's not quite enough.
Sell your lizard warrens and favor squirrels if the enemy's building too many toads.
I mean, I understand his idea that he wanted to use the toads against the lizards, but it's that moment of it's a little bit too late to do that kind of transition right now. And at this point, Dawgo and Dutch Defender are just rolling their way over, taking out Insane Jester, and there's just nothing Gorgo can do. He lost hard to the mole rush, and unfortunately, he was just not able to defend. Didn't get his units out. He transitioned in the middle of the time, so his army count was still very low, and As a result, Dawgo and DutchDefender able to just rush their way through and take both out in game number 1.
Yeah, there's some really good play out of Dawgo and DutchDefender this game. I think these guys have a lot of potential to get pretty far in this tournament. I mean, they just kind of kept pressing their advantages, winning small attacks, and using the advantage in favor over time to really push the issue into a nice victory there.
And it's just like that case of like, you need to be very careful when you're considering about going for farms. You need to be very sure your opponent isn't going for this kind of rushes if you want to go for that kind of play. Otherwise, it's usually just safer to do a 4-farm or 5-farm war and just to get something to defend in these kind of circumstances.
Yeah, and I think another thing too is you got to take that mole pick for your team, right? Because I mean, if somebody goes for a really early mole rush,
yeah.
and I mean, I'm kind of a new player still, so correct me if I'm wrong, but if somebody comes to you with a 4-farm mole rush, even if you went 5-farm Warren, your first unit's not going to be out in time, is it?
Not really, and in this case of 2v2, it can be pretty bad if one of your teammates is already hampered by that. And I mean, usually the traditional answers to these kind of rushes is machine gun nests or mines or just your own moles in that sort of case. So having something that's quick and easy to defend with is always very nice to have. And Dawgo and DutchDefender currently trying to sort out what they do. They're going to be sticking with the moles, just going for a very, very tier 1 focused kind of composition. Meanwhile, we have Gorgo and Insane Jester. Insane Jester going all in with tier 1s and tier 3s only.
Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed we didn't see that safe mole pickup out of Dawgo and Gorgo here. I mean, I'm sorry, Insane and Gorgo. I think that would have been the right move because if DutchDefender goes for another cheeky attack, I don't see them really being able to respond very well.
You do see Gorgo just plop that Warren down though. Like he knows, he's learned his lesson.
Yeah, and that's the way to go about it, right? 4-farm Warren will make you safe against the moles, but at the same time, if you don't get mole rushed, your economy's behind. So it's a big trade-off to do something like that.
It's not as bad in 2v2 because you have your teammate who is able to econ up. And that definitely helps a lot in these sort of circumstances. So it's usually why when you see 2v2, you have one player that focuses on micro and the other player focuses on grabbing units on the field. And it's just this sort of synergistic effect where you just protect your teammate who is going into more farms as soon as possible and just prevent anything your opponents from doing much.
Yeah, but we don't see that out of Insane and Gorgo here. It looks like both of them are heading straight for really heavy tier 1 plays. So I think they really need to get their army out and then head over and just see if they can knock one of their opponents out of the game very quickly. This is going to be a really interesting early game.
Yeah, I mean, Insane just already putting down 3 Lizard Warrens, so they are definitely going into the units first idea right now, and they're actually going to go after DutchDefender. And we didn't really talk about this map, but look how separated Dawgo and DutchDefender are from each other. There's a large body of water, so it is going to take some time for Dawgo to actually reinforce. In the meantime, either player could be threatened. So Dawgo and Dutch be very careful when they're making attacks that the other one isn't getting rushed, which is exactly what's happening right now. These Warrens being churned down little by little. Here come the Toad's Explosion coming up from the backside, doing a lot of damage to Dawgo Squirrels. Dawgo has to pull them back before they suffer anything else, but Gorgo and Insane Jester do lose a lot of their units. They're going to have to go back to their own side. Meanwhile, Dawgo and Dutch looking for a counterattack here, but yeah, it looks like they're not going to be able to do too much at the moment.
Do you think Insane and Gorgo got ahead just slightly on that engagement since they took out a Warren? I mean, it looked like both players kind of traded armies. I guess Dutch and Dawgo kept a little more of theirs alive, I suppose.
It's not a terrible loss. He's like I said, like he did keep the squirrels alive long enough. He was able. His farms weren't really that badly damaged, so he's okay. He just has to be. That's just sort of the situation that Dawgo and Dutch find themselves in that they have to be very keenly aware of when these attacks are coming out because reinforcements are going to be a little bit scary for them.
Yeah, and don't forget at this point, guys, I mean, Dutch and Dawgo have the economy advantage, so it's really on Jester and Gorgo here to make a play and get something done. But Jester coming in with the counterattack. Is he going to get something done here?
Right now, Gorgo trying to distract with his own units as Insane Jester is actually going to go straight for the mill. He's having his lizards focus on the mill as quickly as possible. Is going to be enough? No, he has to get out right now. Pulls out before he loses anything else. Meanwhile, Gorgo also losing his own units to attacking. Dawgo gonna push on, seeing how much more he can take these lizards, funneling themselves out, and just losing too much. Insane Jester unfortunately holding on to that rally call, so all the reinforcing lizards unfortunately funneled their way into their deaths.
Yeah, that feels bad, man. He almost got that gristmill. That would have been insane. And let's see how much damage DutchDefender Dawgo can do coming in here on our blue player.
And right now, here we go. Dutch and Dawgo bringing their own units to the battlefield right now, but Insane Jester does have a good number of lizards at the moment. They're actually chucking down each and every one of these squirrels here. Insane Jester going for the defense here, helping out his friend. And they have to back out now. So both sides, their attacks not really fully closing out, but the danger is DutchDefender. His base is very low on HP. He has to be very scared of any sort of rushes coming out from his opponent. He has to sort of sit back and defend his base until it's fully healed up.
Yeah, and our yellow and blue players really need to get their economy going, right? I mean, they're doing really well in this game. I'd say so far it's pretty even, but they're just down a couple farms, and I don't know if they're ever really going to get the chance to take them. At this point, it seems like they really want to just keep this aggression up, which isn't a bad idea either, I suppose.
And it's really interesting because both sides haven't really always fully gotten their farms out yet. Dawgo and Dutch have gone for it right away. So Insane should think about building some more of his own farms at the moment, or go for some more rushes. But it looks like he's just going to try to stay back, beef up his army, and hope that he's able to get the attack in. Meanwhile, that mill already half full, almost past the half full mark. So slowly repairing the damage it took earlier.
Yeah, Dawgo and Dutch have some really easy expansions to secure here. So this is a really ballsy play out of Gorgo. You know, trying to maintain that center gristmill. Yeah, he cancels it. I was going to say that's a little much there, right? They should probably take that expansion a little bit to the southeast of Gorgo's base. I think that's probably the safest one. But that's also another good idea is placing the turret, getting a little bit of a defensive line ready for the next gristmill you're going to take. So it's going to be challenging for the blue and yellow team to get this middle map.
The real reason they didn't go for that mill is because they have a boar building in the back now.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be crazy. Uncle Blooder's going to get some serious work done when he's out.
It looks like there's going to be an engagement here right now. The snake's coming out for DutchDefender here. Going to be a lot of damage against these turrets, unfortunately. They have to be very careful. How many attacks of poison would there be? 2? Not bad. But here come the toads, making their way through. One toad, unfortunately, taking too many attacks of poison. Meanwhile, we're going to see Insane Jester trying to move away. No, he ran all the way into the toads. Oh, not the toads.
Lizards getting deleted, looks like.
Oh, that board, unfortunately, is never going to see the light of day. Too many units died in that. It got supply blocked instantly, and Gorgo is going to lose his base, and that's game.
Jeez, man. 18 lizards just erased by those toads. That was crazy.
That is the reason why toads are the natural counter to lizards. Because of that.
Yeah, I feel like squirrel, toad, pigeon is pretty good.
Oh my god, you see all those moles just building up. DutchDefender wants to end this now. He's like, no. Where is that base? I want to kill this base now. Oh. Good plan, though. I do like Gorgo and Insane Jester's game plan this time, just trying to beat them out in the rushes. But, you know, if you're going to go for that attack, you can't hesitate. You have to keep on moving on forward.
And imagine if Jester would have, instead of targeting